When I was 6, once I had a panic attack for not finding my swimming cap. It was on my head. Later on, when I lived in Shanghai and my parents came to visit me, I organized an awesome trip for them. Only at the very first day, I sent them to the wrong train station. And just this week, actually 2 days ago, I lost my wallet with all my cards and ID card and everything, and some money as well, just because I didn't zip my bag, just like Anna's daughter didn't zip her mouth in school. And whenever something like this happens to me, I just say to myself, oops, I did it again. Only I'm not saying it so nicely, and I'm definitely not using the word oops. And these situations are rather annoying, right? Definitely for me, but sometimes they can actually teach you a lesson. And tonight I will tell you about one of these stories when I went to the beautiful Amalfi coast of Italy for a solo weekend holiday. And I stayed in Salerno. I brought you a map. This is where I stayed, Salerno, beautiful place. And here, this is the sea, as you can see. And on my second day of the stay, in the morning, I had a run. I have this running plan that a trainer gives me. It was a 13-kilometer run, and not the nice and kind one, but the one where you have to be fast. So I was very tired to start the day with, and this was stage 1 of that particular day. I was tired, but I had to carry on because stage 2 was waiting for me, which was hiking. Back to my map. From Salerno, I took the bus to Amalfi. From Amalfi, I took the bus somewhere else that I don't really remember anymore. And from that point, I had a hike all the way to Positano. A beautiful hike, lush green scenery, crystal blue waters, but very tiring, and also 12K. So by the time I got to Positano, I was super tired and it was already dark. And Positano is a very touristic place, so you have to check it out. Half dead, but I walked around and I checked out the whole place. It was beautiful. Then it was time to go back to Amalfi. So I went to the bus stop where people told me the bus stop was. That was the only way to know because there was no sign or anything. And after 45 minutes, I finally managed to get on the bus and I went all the way to Amalfi. In Amalfi, I had to get off and change to another bus. I had only 10 minutes, but I decided that I want to get just a little glimpse of the city. So I had a quick sightseeing tour and then I got back on the bus. I reached it against all odds and I was on my way to Salerno. Finally, I could relax a little bit. So I put in music and I zoned out a bit, and around 45 minutes later, I hear the driver say, Positano. I'm like, Posi, what? How is that possible? I looked around, I looked out, and that really was the place where I actually got on the bus. So what happened was that when I got on the bus in Amalfi, instead of the bus to Salerno, I got on the bus to Sorrento, which sounds very similar to me, but is the exact total opposite direction of where I needed to be. And my phone was dying because I started to listen to music, but the very last percentage of battery power, I managed to find out what I could do. And here it was. I took the bus all the way here. And from here, I had to take a train all the way up here. I didn't have enough space, all the way up here to Naples. And then in Naples, wait for 1 hour at a night train station, very dodgy. And then take another night train to get back to where I actually lived and where I had to be. Now, this was the start of stage 3. I managed to get all the way to that city. And there I got on the very last train to Naples. And when I was getting to Pompeii, I remembered something. I remember that there was actually one other train from Pompeii that went to Salerno. The only problem was that it was in a different train station, and I wasn't sure where that train station was, and I was that tired, and I only had like 15 minutes to get there. And then I started thinking, should I do this? Should I not? Should I just stick with the safe route? And as the doors were already closing, I thought to myself, well, I can run. Let's do this. And I jumped out. I jumped out, hit the ground, looked it up on Google Maps where I had to go, and all my last energy, I started running and running and running, and then turning left and right and just looking at Google Maps. And I got to the train station, but it was scary. I went through these industrial parks. A police car passed by. They were looking at me, very weird guy running in the middle of the night. So I get there at 10:32 p.m. and I look at the board and it says the last train leaves at 10:32 p.m. But I'm thinking, hey, this is Italy. Probably the train is late, right? So there's no way it already passed. So I went to this automated teller machine to buy the automated train ticket machine, and it told me, sorry, the train left. Okay, there was no one around, so I thought to myself, fine, I'm just gonna spend the night in Pompeii, whatever, let's do this. I was not happy, but you know. So I started walking back, and when I was considerably far from the train station, I hear the sound of something very train-like. And then it turns out a train is coming in. So once again, I sprint and sprint and sprint. I'm sweaty, I'm dying, but I go for it. And the train has been in for quite some time. When I get there, I had to go downstairs, go upstairs. And then there was that little button, you know, that you have to push. I'm like pushing, I'm like, please, 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 please open, please open. And it opened, it opened. I got on the train. I had no idea if it was the right train, but I didn't care. I was there. And in the end, this train did actually take me to where I needed to be. And just to show you, this is how I look like on that particular train. Probably you can see the sweat and everything. I'm not very technologically aware as Carol, so I didn't want to risk screen sharing. And another proof is that this is the track that I did. This is how I ran from one place to the other. And in the end, I got there 1 hour sooner. And you know, this is a good story, but it actually inspired me in my everyday life because I realized that sometimes you have to take the risks, right? And this was one of the reasons why this January, actually, I quit my part-time job to actually focus 100% on public speaking. And nowadays, it kind of feels like I didn't really reach that train in Pompeii because the situation is not the best. But still, I feel like it was the good decision and I'm on the right path. And so this story taught me two things. Number one is that no matter how big of a rush you are in, there's always time to start a trek on your sport watch. Number two, sometimes you have to take risks. So losing your wallet, not finding your swimming cap, or sending your parents to the wrong train station, or you yourself getting on the wrong bus can be annoying, but sometimes it does teach you an important lesson. So dear Zoomers of tonight, think about your oops, I did it again moments, and think about what lesson it can teach you.